And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Cairn. This is a two-player game from Madigo. It is a very short game. It's an abstract strategy game, even though spring is reborn, the earth is bubbling with power, and the shaman contemplates the stones that stand among the trees. The hour has come. I don't know what that means. You have a bunch of shaman, some of your pieces, trying to move them off the opponent's side of the board or capture them or transform them. How does it work? Very simply, here you go. In each game, players have 5 shaman here. They're going to start with 3 on the sides of the board and 2 in their village. You'll notice they're different models, but they all do the same thing. We also have 2 megaliths that are randomly pulled from a pile to put here, and then 2 upcoming megaliths that you're going to be playing with. You're also going to have 3 action tiles, which you will flip randomly to put here, and a transformation tile also flipped randomly. On your turn, you're going to pick one of these 3 action tiles and do that with one of your shaman. So for example, this one says move 1 space diagonally. So I can maybe do that. Move my shaman diagonally and then flip it over to the other side where it's going to show that you can move 1 space orthogonally. This one here lets me jump over one of my own shaman. This one here lets me jump over an opponent's shaman. This lets me bring a shaman out on the black totems here for my village, and this one lets me bring one out on the white. I'm sorry, this is the black and this is the white. The iconography there could have been better. Now, after you're done moving, you're going to see if you can construct a megalith. There's 2 ways to do it. If after moving, you have what is shown on the transformation tile, which is 2 of your guys on both sides of an opponent, or 2 next to an opponent. If that's the case, you banish them, sending them back to the village, and then in the spot that they were, you pick one of these megaliths and construct it there. You'll also move up one here. The first person to construct 3 megaliths is the winner. Also, if you go to the opponent's village, so if let's say I use this action, which lets me jump an opponent's, I could just jump over them into the village, return them to my own village, and the spot that I was in, I put a megalith here from one of these 2 that are face up. If there is a megalith in the spot that you jump from, you can't do it, so you have to find an open spot to do so. Now these megaliths are going to allow you to do something. When you move on them, you are required to take the action of whatever it is based on you have like a sheet here that tells you what each one does. So this one in particular says move the shaman from this megalith 1 space. So I can move on here, and then I can go here if I wanted to. Or I could even move here, which says move another friendly shaman 1 space. So you can build up all different things. Some of these will let you switch megaliths on the board. You can move a megalith. You can flip an action tile. You can swap the location of different things on the board. Take 2 turns in a row. And that's it. That's the whole game. So you're trying to set up this transformation token, put 2 of these, next to this, then you banish this, and then move to your opponent's side of the board and land there. It's a very quick game. First person to get 3 of these on the board, and you keep track of that by moving on this track, is the winner. The game comes with a plastic insert that holds everything, although you have to figure out which of these shaman fit in there. These are miniatures, really nice miniatures. You got the Smurfs versus the antler heads, but if you look at them inside, they really do have really nice detail. I guess you could paint them if you really like the game that much. They look great. Little fairies, or actually I don't think he's a fairy. I think he has panels attached to his back. Now the monoliths themselves, they all have good artwork on them. I mean, this is Madigo. They always do things great. All the tiles are good quality. These aren't necessarily that clear, but again, you have these player aids where it will tell you what they all do. And so you just keep this in front of you, tells you your turn. For a small game, which this essentially is, really high quality components. Like I said, this is an abstract strategy game in a sense that there's a theme, but it's not really there. It's about moving pieces. It's a very fast game. It says 25 minutes on here. That's fairly accurate. I also think it's on the high end of things, and that's fine. There's very little luck in the game. The only luck is in how the tiles come out, the megaliths come out, because there's just going to be different ones each game. Now, the object is to either get off the opponent's board or to capture them by moving into position. This is going to make a lot of people think of Onitama, which is a game that I'm involved with that's part of the Dice Tower Essentials line, and there is a lot of similarities. Onitama, I know people are going to ask about it, is definitely a cleaner game. I think it's a better game. It's a fantastic game. But this game is also quite good. This game certainly has high-end components, as I've showed you. And this game also has a little bit more diversity. I think there's a slight bit more chaos in this one because you have to keep your eye on a lot of things. Well, so for example, there are 3 different moves you can make at any given point. You might move diagonally or orthogonally, jump your own person, jump your opponents, or bring out someone on the black or white totem. Well, that's pretty much it. But the megaliths that are out there, as more and more of them approach, you can say, okay, if I move here, then I can do this. But if I do that, my opponent can move here. And you have to be careful because you're running for your opponent's line. It's an easy way to get a megalith on the board. But if you get too close to them, they may be able to quickly put their shaman around you and capture you. So there's a lot of neat concepts there. I think that really balances well back and forth. And there's not a lot of games out there like this. I initially compared it to Onitama, but honestly, that's the only game I can think of to compare this to. It's nice, it's simple, it's fast, it's fun, and I think there's a lot of replayability with the megaliths, again, in the order that they come out. Certainly not going to be for everybody, and if you're looking for shaman battling it out, the lack of theme here may turn you off, but I really enjoyed this one. Is it, quote-unquote, overproduced? Perhaps, but I'd rather have a overproduced game than a very boring-looking one. And this one's a pretty neat one. This is, I think, a game that's going to pass under a lot of people's radars. Don't let that happen to you. Check it out. Cool 2-player game, Cairn. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.